like to talk to you today about a novel called All the Broken Places by well-known author John Boyne. Now, John Boyne has written some 11 adult novels and 5 children's novels, but this is the first one of his books that I've read. All the Broken Places is an adult sequel to his children's novel, The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. The main character of this story is Gretel, who was born in Berlin in 1931 and the daughter of a senior officer in the Reich, the commander of one of the worst Jewish extermination camps, Auschwitz. The book is written in chapters alternating between today's London, where the now 91-year-old Gretel lives in what she hopes is anonymity, and a timeline of her life between 1943 and 1970 as she almost literally tries to run from her past and forge new identities for herself. The key storyline is that Gretel learns at a very young adolescent age of the atrocities of the Holocaust and what occurred at Auschwitz, especially with her father being the commander. And she grapples for the rest of her life with the issue of responsibility, guilt, grief, and atonement. In the process, she makes some rather erratic and questionable decisions. It's not until a little boy, Henry, moves into the downstairs suite in her London apartment building with his family that she's forced to confront her past. This book will draw you in from the very first paragraph. It's receiving both rave reviews and some criticism. Some experts say that it's not historically accurate and that the author has used the Holocaust simply as a topic for an enticing novel, again victimizing Jewish people. What I did love about this book is the complex theme of personal guilt and grief and atonement, especially when a person is born an innocent infant and grows up in a horrific and evil environment. Is a person complicit for the acts of their family when they were a child? Can they ever recover, regardless of the role they played in evil, directly or complicitly? And how far will people go to preserve themselves? These are complicated questions with no easy answers. One issue that stands out for me is how children are impacted for the rest of their lives by the events that go on around them and the world they're born into, good and bad. I really like the writing style of this book. I thought it portrayed the many emotions well, and the alternating chapters and characters are easy to follow. I think the main storyline is quite unique, and the title, All the Broken Places, itself is quite telling. I did think a couple of occurrences bordered on thriller material, and I wasn't really a fan of the ending, but that's just my opinion. Who knows what a person would do if they grew up in terror and trauma and secrecy. There is a warning though. There's plenty of trauma, violence, domestic abuse, and child abuse that might be painful to some readers. All the Broken Places is a really fast read that kept me engaged over 2 days. It will almost certainly leave you with lots of emotions, thoughts, and opinions. All the Broken Places by John Boyne.